If you're looking to add a bunch of power to your 96 to 04 V8 powered Mustang, whether we're talking GT, Cobra, Bullet, or Mach 1, then adding forced induction like Hellion's twin turbo kit here would be an awesome choice. Now, if you are lucky enough to have a Terminator Cobra and you're looking for a turbo kit to add to your existing positive displacement blower to achieve what is called a compound boost setup, then this would also be the ticket. Now, the Hellion kit that we have here is called their tuner kit for right around 7,000 bucks, meaning it is going to come with essentially everything needed to get you up and running, minus fueling upgrades and custom tuning. So just be prepared to grab a handheld device along with a tune to get you dialed in after the installation. Now, speaking of the install, the site is going to kick this one up to a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, guys, and at least a day, but more than likely a full weekend to get you everything installed to be on the safe side. So right off the bat, guys, I do want to point out the fact that this video is going to be more of a topical overview of the Hellion kit and some of its components, rather than an in-depth review and dyno and install, and for that, of course, I do apologize. But what I will be doing here, guys, is breaking down again these components in addition to talking about who this kit might be for. Also, something to keep in mind here, guys, this kit literally includes hundreds of parts. Obviously, I have some of the bigger chunks on the table with me here, but bear in mind, you do get a heck of a lot more than what I'm showing you right now. So again, guys, this kit is designed to fit essentially any 4.6 based SN95 out there, including those supercharged Terminator Cobras, which, by the way, something Hellion was very, very pumped about because this was the first kind of compound boost setup readily available in the aftermarket. Now, for those guys who don't know, running a turbocharger along with a supercharger is possible, and again, that is referred to as a compound boost setup. Now, as the name entails, compound again meaning composed of 1 or 2 separate elements, in this case, 2 awesome forms of boost. And Hellion has pointed out, guys, that they were able to make over 1,000 wheel horsepower to the tire on a stock 03 Cobra, so obviously the kit is working just fine. But aside from the Cobras out there, this kit will also appeal to other SN95 owners who might want to ride with that 4.6 as opposed to going with a Coyote swap, for instance, or something along those lines, which, let's be honest, guys, at the end of the day will probably cost around the same amount of money all said and done, but the swap will definitely involve more work. So again, something you guys will have to think long and hard about before pulling the trigger on a turbo kit for your 4.6 versus swapping that out for a Coyote. Now, as far as your main components of the kit are concerned, well, the centerpiece here, no doubt, will be the twin 6176 turbos from the gang at Precision, T3 based 0.82 AR, capable up to 30 pounds of boost on the big end, and can be gated down to about 5 pounds on the low side. Hellion also includes 2 35mm Turbonetics Evolution wastegates to regulate that boost, while the twin TurboSmart Compact 34 blow-off valves do release the pressure when needed. Now, even though it's not shown here, guys, Hellion does also include a very large air-to-air intercooler with the kit, along with all of the hot and cold side piping, which, by the way, is actually made by the exhaust company Bassani for Hellion using 100% stainless steel, and as such, all that piping will carry a lifetime warranty. Now, because the SN engine bay does get a little bit cramped with 2 turbos and a bunch of piping, Hellion also does include a UPR front suspension kit with their turbo setup consisting of a tubular K-member, in addition to A-arms, coil springs, and caster camber plates to essentially make this all pretty much plug and play. Also worth mentioning here, guys, Hellion does state that this kit does still retain the use of your factory air conditioning. Nice to point out, of course, for guys especially living in those warmer climates. Now, also worth mentioning is the fact that Hellion is extremely thorough with what they include here in regards to your fittings, your hardware, your clamps, your hoses, your couplers. Again, hundreds and hundreds of parts included with this kit, which will ultimately make your life a whole lot easier when it does come time for the installation. Finally, guys, to make your life even easier, they do include some very detailed instructions to help you put this thing on your SN95. So we've talked about what the tuner kit here does include from Hellion, but what doesn't it include? Well, 2 biggies: fueling upgrades and your tune. Now, fueling will ultimately depend on your application and your power goals, so just be sure to get with your tuner first before the install and hash out what you will need as far as injectors, pumps, lines, and all of that good stuff. Now the second part again is pretty obvious, and that is the tune or lack thereof, along with a handheld device. So again, just something to consider when pulling the trigger on the tuner kit here from Hellion. Now even though Hellion does include those detailed instructions we just mentioned, this install will be very in-depth, guys, and will include some detailed modifications to the car itself, along with some light wiring and tapping of your oil pan for the feed. So because of all this, the site is going to kick this one up to a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and about a day or so to get everything in place. But again, just leave yourself a weekend to be on the safe side. So if you are looking to take your V8 powered SN95 to levels you didn't think possible, then be sure to check out the Hellraiser kit here from Hellion right here at AmericanMuscle.com.